What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. Happy game day to you. Been a little bit of time since we got to watch the Packers play football. Happy it's finally here. And they are back in 14.5-point favorites over the Cincinnati Bengals at home. Just a reminder also, we're going to be live for this game later today, so make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and join us then. If you want the Packers to beat Cincy, if you want Green Bay back in the win column, make sure you like the video. Don't go anywhere. I got injury updates. I got 5 keys to victory coming up in just a second right here on the Packers Report. When you're playing Cincinnati, in my opinion, you got to take the lead early, okay? You have to jump on Cincinnati as quickly as you can because they're going to let you run the score up. This is the worst defense you've faced. And I know a lot of you guys want to say, oh, what about the Dallas Cowboys? No, this defense is worse than the Dallas Cowboys defense is. They might not be worse stopping the pass, but they are worse overall in totality. They let up 31.2 points a game. The only 2 teams worse than that are the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets. 259 passing yards a game, 132 rushing yards a game. They've allowed 18 touchdowns so far in 2025, second worst in the NFL. And if you score early, what you do is you force Cincinnati to put the ball in the quarterback's hands, and he will turn the ball over. And when you're a team that's missing your starting quarterback, and you can't be balanced, and you've got to rely on the backup, really, really hard for your offense. Now, the way that backups can win football games is if they can establish the run and they can be balanced offensively. Maybe they could pick you apart then. But if you take the lead early, Cincinnati's going to have to abandon the run game because it just takes off too much time. You got to do what you didn't do against Dallas. You scored 2 touchdowns early, but you couldn't finish it, make that extra point, and then we all know what happened after that, okay? You got to take the lead early, and you got to go up. What is your score prediction for Green Bay, Cincinnati? Mine's coming up in probably 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Stick around for it, but I want to know yours in the comment section down below. Number 2, do not make stupid mistakes. This one, I've had to reiterate time and time and time again. This is how you lose to teams that you're better than. There's 3 things you got to avoid every single time you are playing a team that has a worse roster and a worse coaching staff than you. You got to avoid turnovers, penalties, and special teams mishaps. And unfortunately, this is exactly what they didn't do against Cleveland. Like, this is how you lose football games against teams you're better than. Don't believe me? Let's look at how Green Bay did in those 3 exact categories against Cleveland. Turnover category, 1. In a big, crucial moment, Jordan Love threw an interception. Penalties, you had 14 of them for 75 yards, and they all came in very inopportune times at that. And then special teams mishaps. You had that blocked field goal late, the field goal that would have probably won you that football game. Instead, it gets blocked. Cleveland takes the ball over. They drive about 20 yards down the field in like 15 seconds, and then they win it on a walk-off field goal of their own. If you take away that turnover, you win that football game. If you commit probably half those penalties, you win that football game. Or if you take away that blocked field goal late, you win that football game. You cannot do all 3 of these things, or you will lose, okay? Some way that you guys can win is by going to chatsports.com/GBPOLO and getting this thing for just $33. That's right, it's $22 off. It was originally $55. They've gone ahead and brought the price down for you. All you got to do is take advantage of it. Chatsports.com/GBPOLO. You don't even have to memorize it. You don't even have to type that out. I made it super easy for you. I put that in the comment section, and I put it in the description of today's video. So all you got to do is go down there and click that link. It'll take you to the site, put in your shipping information, put in your checking out, credit card, debit card information, bada bing, bada boom. This thing's at your doorstep in a matter of days. I don't know if it's too early to shop for Christmas. But if it isn't, if you don't think it isn't, hell, that's only 2.5 months away. You can get this thing for your grandpa, your friend, your cousin, your uncle, your son, your husband, whoever. Aunt, mom, daughter, I don't care. Chatsports.com/GBPOLO, only $33. Number 3, Establish the run. This is kind of, in my opinion, what's been missing from your offense for a whole lot of this season. Josh Jacobs has still been able to put up pretty good statistics. 80 carries, 266 yards. I'd like that average to be a little bit higher, but I don't think that's his fault. 4 touchdowns, all of that in just 4 games played. But that's the thing. Josh Jacobs has not been the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The run blocking, it has been horrible. Your run block win rate is like second worst in the NFL. It seems that every single time Josh Jacobs touches the ball, he cannot get past the line of scrimmage. And of no fault of his own, it's just in seconds, it seems, that there's 3 defenders in his face. He can only do so much. I love Josh Jacobs. You're rarely going to ever hear me say a bad thing about him. And I won't right now, because he's playing his best. He's balling out. Some of those runs he ripped off against the Cowboys were unbelievable. But he's having to make unbelievable plays. He's having to make unbelievable cuts, unbelievable jukes, because every single time he gets that rock in his chest, he gets that rock in the center of his stomach, he's looking forward, and there's about 3 guys who weigh 385 pounds, and they're right in his grill. That needs to change. You got to be balanced. Jordan Love's better. The wide receivers are better. Your team is better when you're balanced offensively. And if you can't establish the run against Cincinnati, hell, I don't know who you can establish the run against. It's Vegas time. 99.5 rushing yards for Josh Jacobs against the Bengals. What do you think? Over or under? You let me know in the comment section down below. You think he cracks 100? Let me know down there. Number 4, stop Ja'Marr Chase. This one's a big one. This one is a real big one. If you want to beat Cincinnati, you have to somewhat take him away. Now, it's Ja'Marr Chase. You're probably not going to take him away in totality, right? 264 yards on the season. It's been a slow start. Mind you, they have been without Joe Burrow since, week 1 of the football season? I believe that's when he's got injured. A touchdown, 26 catches on 35 targets. But, it's not his fault. Look at this stat line from their game last Sunday. 4 receptions, 3 tackles against Detroit on all 3 Jake Browning interceptions. 3 tackles from Ja'Marr Chase. So he's just put in really bad places because he's got a really bad quarterback. But he also has the ability to do this against Detroit. 6 catches, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Should have added a 4th throw, 3 tackles as well. Regardless, he can win a game all by himself. There are very few receivers in the National Football League that can do that. Ja'Marr Chase is one of them. His old college teammate is another one of them, right? CeeDee Lamb, he might be one of them. There's a handful, select group of guys that have that ability, and you're playing the guy who has that ability probably over every single one of them. And the unfortunate part is you're coming off a game where the last time you saw your secondary played, they played their worst game of the season against Dallas. Look at those passer ratings when targeted against the Cowboys. Now, Dak Prescott has been slinging. He's been playing phenomenally. He's been playing at an MVP caliber level. But still, 158.3 from Valentine, 135.4 from Nate Hobbs. Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, Xavier McKinney, none of those guys under an 89. That's got to get better. You've got to improve because you're playing the best receiver you've played yet this season. My last one, finish. Finish the football game. Look, this one is easy to say. It's harder to do. And you know how I know it's harder to do? Because you didn't do it against Cleveland. You couldn't finish that football game. You let them right back in it very late in that 4th quarter, and you lost. You couldn't finish against Dallas. Defense couldn't get a stop when you needed them to. Offense, they did all you could. They did all they could, right? Couldn't finish that overtime game. Couldn't finish that drive. Couldn't put it in the end zone. That's the reason you're not undefeated. It's because you're not finishing football games. You're being put in the positions to do that. Every single game, you've been in a position to win. You should be 4-0, in my opinion. But if it's nuts for candies and, I don't even know. If it's in butts for candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That's it. So you can say if all you want. You haven't done it. You need to do it this time. My prediction for the score, 31-13. Green Bay over Cincinnati. You're coming off of a bye. This Cincinnati Bengals team is disheveled at the moment. they are looking really, really bad. And again, you're catching them on extended rest. You're going to have a lot of guys playing again. And I think you win this game in a big way. Make sure you got me followed on social media. We're going to get on out of here. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm pretty much everywhere. Just follow me and daily updates, hourly updates on the Green Bay Packers. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to change that today. All you got to do, hit that sub button.